We're back with Kelly Olson talking about scheduling your kids' activities in the summer. It's key to, when we left off, when we went to a break, we were talking about the different ideas, giving kids ideas. And could you even, write those things down and post them alongside the calendar?
Yeah.
If you get bored, hey, you can go to the zoo or the library.
Absolutely, and it just depends on, what your situation is. If your children are older and the kids are going to be home alone, posting activities that they can do by themselves or with the babysitter at their house. But even just having boredom buster ideas. And, I've even as a parent Googled different things and then written them all down. There's puzzles and Legos and Play-Doh and going for walks. And it doesn't all have to be cost prohibitive. It can be just, things that we forget about. And I think, so all of those boredom ideas should be kind of on a list, but then also on the other side, I think it's really important to kind of remind kids of what the summer rules are.
Yes.
And so, different scenarios for kids that are staying home by themselves. You might want to have, emergency contact numbers up. You want to have information about, when and how many times you should be contacting mom at work, those kinds of things. You might want to have...
That can get out of control. It can, yeah.
It can. And so what's an emergency? When to use microwaves, when not to, what to have, what's acceptable things for lunch, how to respond to somebody calling, ringing the doorbell. All those kinds of things are really important things to teach kids. And if they're old enough to be out on their bike, where can you go? What are the bike paths you can go on? How far can you go past this? What time are you supposed to be back? When do you check in? There's all kinds of new sets of rules to kind of think about, but then there's also that same rules that kind of stay there too.
Talk about the balance of, you see so many kids I think today they're almost overscheduled, and some parents think, oh, this is great, but where's that balance, and how can you sort of read your own individual kid to understand that?
Well, and the response in the child is going to be different for different ages, but for like an older age kid, so like the 8 to 15, if they're really booked with schedules, you might see them being more irritable, being more tired, feeling like, they're coming up with excuses instead of going to the activity. So I don't really feel good. I kind of got a, headache or whatever. And you'll get that sometimes anyway. But the other thing is that if you get them to the activity and they seem totally disinterested in that activity, they're like kind of kicking the dirt and they're not very happy, and those are kind of evidence that maybe there's too much activities going on. And a lot of parents take the summer opportunity as an opportunity to have kids try a little bit of everything. I read somewhere that this mom tried a football camp for their child and realized that he didn't like football. And so instead of let down the team and waste an entire season of playing football, gave it a good, week attempt at a football camp. So there's opportunities, I think, to try your hand in a variety of different things.
Yeah, and I think it's okay. You might lose a little bit of money, but it's probably worth it in the long run if your child doesn't want to be there.
Well, but if you go into football this season, you got all that gear and, so.
Good point.
The old parents saying about, hey, once you start something, you can't quit, you got to finish, and so you're going through 6 months of, I really don't want to go to practice, mom or dad.
So then you're fighting that every day for about practice versus just doing a week, and then he just decides, nope, this isn't for me.
And there are a lot more options for kids nowadays than than when we were growing up.
There's free events too.
Parades.
There's the Kid Fest, that happens in the community. There's different parades.
The library.
The library offers free screening time. They have free movie outside theater kind of things, and
music in the parks.
I think it comes free with mosquitoes too.
Probably. Probably. Movies alongside walls sometimes,
yes.
and the downtown areas. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. As long as you keep in mind that don't overschedule.
Right. And kids will be your guide, definitely. And that's the other thing I'd want to say is that sometimes we get lax with our schedules, and we let our kids stay up later. But if they're actually getting at the exact same time up that they normally do for school to go to daycare, that's not going to help them on their day, and they'll be irritable and not successful.
Thank you, Kelly, so much at the Village Family Service Center. You can give her a call if you have any questions about anything. We'll be right back.